Invite and encourage you while we're waiting for Labor Day to come to continue to watch online, to worship, to spread the word to family and friends, to give as God will place upon your heart to do so, that we might continue the ministry. The building is shut down, but the church is still administering.
That's the Reverend Dr. Howard John Wesley addressing his congregation virtually last week. The senior pastor of Alfred Street Baptist Church, as you heard, isn't planning on bringing congregants back into the building anytime soon. However, he is still spreading the gospel and the good word. And this Motivation Monday, Pastor Wesley joins us with tips on how to keep the faith during this pandemic. Pastor, it is hard to do. Good morning. I'm happy to talk with you this morning.
Good morning, Allison. What a joy it is to be on with you, especially in a time like this when maintaining faith in these difficult days is something so critical for each and every one of us.
You have some great take-home tips that we can all use to just remember during this pandemic, regardless of what church you go to, if you go to church at all, whatever, something to keep you going. But I do want to ask you about that bold announcement that you made, that you definitely said you're not going to have any of the parishioners back in the building anytime soon. Why make that decision?
Well, you know, the safety and well-being not only of our members, but our community is critical. And with a church our size, it's just not wise to try to squeeze people in, 100, 200 deep, and expose people unnecessarily to COVID. We have a responsibility to our members and to our community to practice that which is safe. And there are other alternatives than being in the building, like online worship, which is a tremendous gift and blessing that we have that allows us to reach even more people. So right now, as a friend of mine would say, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze.
And let me tell you something, as a pastor's kid, having a robust congregation like that, God bless you. That's not always easy to do. Your message must be so powerful. So let's get into some of these take-homes for all of us. You just say a daily devotion. Take a minute to go within and get that daily devotion out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, daily devotion is so critical because there's only so much bad news you can absorb. And Allison, as you all know, and you're on the front line having to report this every day, there are more numbers of death, violence, political upheaval, this campaign that's coming. And at a certain point, everyone has to unplug from that. I recommend daily finding that time to just unplug, to sit silent, to breathe, to meditate, to have devotion, to pray, to read the word of God, that we really are the same way you're taking care of your body with diet and vitamins and working out, that you're also taking care of your spiritual, your mental, and your emotional well-being.
Weekly worship, do you feel like it's important to sort of plug in if you're missing going to your physical place of worship? How can we do that?
Very, very critical. One of the things in our faith tradition we believe is that faith comes by hearing the word of God, and hearing the word of God proclaimed to you is critical for maintaining your faith. And in the world in which we live now, the options are so vast and varied. You don't have to get into a physical building. From the comfort and luxury of your bedroom with your pajamas on, you can log on, and there's so many called women and men whom I think God is using to speak to us. Now, I'm not talking about charlatans and cult leaders and people trying to manipulate you out of money, but there are some great men and women all across the World Wide Web who you can Google, you can watch, and I promise you, you're going to be blessed even in an online experience of worship.
You speak of having faith-filled friends, also finding time for Thanksgiving. Let's focus on the last tip before we have to say goodbye, deliberate decision.
Yeah, I think faith is a decision at the end of the day. It's a decision not to operate in a feeling, but a fact. And the fact is that we've not been abandoned by the Lord. The fact is that we have been blessed. And the fact is that I choose to believe. Rather than giving in to the depression, the darkness, and the despair, I make a deliberate decision every day to believe in the best of you, to believe that my God is present, to believe in the best of our society, that I make that decision daily, that I'm going to live with my eye on a faith perspective rather than a fear-filled one.
Let's leave it right there. The information is on the screen on how you can get in touch if you need to hear that good word or read it. All the information on social media for the Alfred Street Baptist Church and Pastor Wesley is there on your screen. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Happy Monday,
have
Allison.
a wonderful and safe day. Happy
you. You too.
Motivation Monday, Pastor. Thank you so much.